So I have these intense conversations about, what's going on at the post office back when I was being promised that I had the full weight of the whole Utah um, postal union, postal workers union, and that I would be protected and that they were going to. And they just kept telling me, like, keep going back to work, like, and and the OIG also kept saying, like, well, we just want you to, like, keep going in. They said we may, like, show up and install cameras and you'll never know when. Well, they went through my entire phone. They went through all of the evidence. They knew I was, they believed me. But everybody kept saying go in. And I was saying, there was, like, just weird stuff, like stamps going missing and stuff going missing, which is such a huge crime. And I just do not have, I suffer anxiety. And here's the thing, like, on TikTok, there's this guy who's, like, with the CIA, and he's like, if I were gonna hire anyone for any op, I'd hire, somebody with anxiety, because they notice all the details. And that's true of me. But, at this point in my life, like, I had walked away from, a marriage where, I had as much money as I wanted. I'm here with someone who was now logging into, no matter how many times I kept changing my password and sealing that into an envelope, sealed, stamped, dated, into a vault. Somebody was, like, logging into my account in the wee hours of the morning. Those computers are actually also equipped with cameras. So, it was, but I was being told that nobody was going to use those cameras to catch the criminal. And I said to the president, and I said, look, I don't want to go in there. My good name, which is all I had left, my reputation is not worth any job. My reputation before working here was pristine. And she replied, she goes, it still is. And so that I included that in the email to my dad. Like, one of the things, if you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, besides, being a person of integrity, we had these young women values and all these stories about, how much that means. That I was fine losing. I was fine losing things, but for myself and living for myself and being at peace with myself, I didn't care about money. I cared about my integrity. I cared about, I had always dealt honestly with people in my life. And while I loved my job at the post office, and it wasn't, yes, it was that post office, but if I worked there a certain amount of time, I would be eligible to move almost anywhere in the world. Like, that job has post offices all around the world, and I loved that. I love moving. I love, like, other countries and the potential. I saw myself doing this through retirement. I had great benefits. Full healthcare coverage, full, dental, everything, and regular pay increases, and so I just I love the job, but I'm like, look, like, I will stop going to the job if it means, I'm going to be charged with a crime, or I'm just going to be called a liar. So this, as I'm paraphrasing the email, I sent, to my dad, that was kind of explaining the seriousness of the situation I was in. Like, I laid out the psychological warfare that he was, that my boss was being coached to use on me. And then second, what my actual values were. And that was a huge mistake.